Ron Goodall, FightHype.com. I'm here with the WBO World Welterweight Champion of the World, Mikaela Mayer. How's it going?
Going very good. How are you?
Good, good. Hopefully it doesn't spark a lot of, I guess, controversy this time. But going straight into the interview, word is you and Sandy's gonna have a rematch going down.
Yes. We're getting the rematch on. I never I never disregarded a rematch. I always thought, yeah, why not? Let's make it happen. It was one of the highest viewed female boxing fights in a very long time. And the fans loved it, right? It was a competitive fight. So I never ruled out a rematch. But did want to like look over the options and we did, the other champions are tied up and they're getting ready to unify. So that was out of the question. And we sent Baumgardner an offer for a rematch because obviously that's something that I want to get back and what the fans would love as well, I'm sure. And then there was Sandy rematch, was an option. And we also considered someone like Chantel Cameron if we wanted to go and send her an offer. At the end of the day, the Sandy Ryan fight just made the most sense. And I just want to go and prove that I'm the better fighter because I think there's a lot of controversy going into that fight saying, oh, she only lost because she was mentally distracted from the paint incident, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, so I got to go prove them all wrong and just do it again, do it better.
It was really interesting because like last time I saw you was in Norfolk and it was in the little lobby. It was like you, me, and Terrence Crawford. And I did
Mhm.
ask you kind of like, the rematch with Sandy would be great, or maybe, maybe we can get the Alicia fight and all that stuff. And you seemed like you were in the shot caller position and you're like, we'll see, but most times people in that position don't do the rematch or ask for these
Yeah.
type of things. And now hearing the fact that you doing the Sandy rematch now and you even offered Alicia, what kind of change, that made you go, you know what, let me try to
No, these are all on the table. I just know you're a reporter, so I can't tell you everything until it's time.
I mean, that's fair. I
um,
mean,
no, but that's the type. I mean, obviously, and I'm even rooting for Jonas to beat Price because obviously I want that get back too. So these are fights that I want to finish my career with, and fights that I know the fans want to see. These are exciting fights. These are the fights that are going to motivate me and bring out the best in me. So yeah, I mean, those are three great fights that, I mean, why wouldn't I try and make them happen? Alicia didn't agree to the offer. So we moved on and made it happen with Sandy.
pretty much Alicia turned down the fight.
Yeah, she turned down the fight. She's whatever, pricing herself out for whatever reason. I don't really think that she's in the position to after a year suspension, only fighting once in a year and a half. And having the doping charges on her, like she should be jumping at this opportunity to fight. So I don't know what her plan is, but we'll see. It could happen down the line.
Your strength and conditioning coach was on Instagram Live and spoke a little bit of a vaccine incident that happened before the red paint. He worked with Regis, so he's very
Mhm.
familiar with his manager, but the manager is also Sandy's manager, and he discussed that prior to the paint incident of happening, he was like
Yeah.
in the vicinity of it. His her manager Sandy got in his face over like not shaking hands and kind of they got into it in the lobby and then minutes later after the paint situation happened. Did you know a little bit about that or just all the
Talking about with Evans,
is that her
the
manager?
strength coach.
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, your
Yeah,
strength coach.
I heard an incident that him and Sandy's manager got into it for something. I don't know. They had beef before because of Regis. But that's all I know. I
Yeah.
mean, minutes after, so what, and within minutes, he planned an attack
Well, no,
for.
I'm not saying. I guess he kind of clear like he was kind of I guess getting some heat from it too. So essentially, like this whole red paint situation is kind of like I guess the takeaway from the fight because it was a great fight at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's
But
unfortunate. It's unfortunate that it happened. That's not my style to do. I know I talk some shit, but that's just like way overboard for someone like me. If like my team and Coach Al, he'd have my neck if I ever did something like that. That's not how he brought me up. And again, like I'm preparing for the fight of my life after not having the belt for 2 years and having this opportunity to get it back around my waist. Like I'd been working extremely hard for the opportunity to what? To risk it? Like, yeah, she could have easily pulled out of that fight. Coach K was in her dressing room screaming at her to pull out of the fight. And I think that was more of the problem, not necessarily the pain, but the way her team handled it for her. Letting her make a big deal about it and, taking the sad photo shoot and then Coach K running back there and literally screaming at her, like, let's get the fuck out of here. What are you doing? Let's get out of here. Let's go. Like, that's stressful. I feel for her in that sense. Like, that's stressful. So, my team would have said, suck it up, let's go and let's get this done. Don't worry about it. And I wish she had that because she could have very easily pulled out of that fight and gotten caught up in that. And I'm glad that she didn't. It was a great fight. And I'm glad it didn't get, called off in any way. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's not really my problem. Like was not involved in that incident, so it's not my problem. I'm
As a
giving her the
compet
rematch. She can prove it. She can prove that it was an issue then. Like I don't know like what she wants to do about it, but the rematch is on, so we get a chance to do it again.
I guess, that was my next question. As a competitor, did it irk you a little bit? Because the fact that, the paint kind of was something that you empathize, but at the same time, it's like, you guys get in the ring, that's skills pay the bills. At this point, do you feel that now without the paint situation happening, that now it's like, all right, I not just beat you once, but I bested you twice.
Yeah, I'm
And
like, well, she's making a big deal about it, for months after, and I've all the fans too. I'm like, all right, let's go, let's do this again. Everyone gets a little extra security. Okay, even me. Now I'm thinking like maybe I'm the one who needs security now. I'm like, I don't want like anything crazy to happen to either one of us. But yeah, let's just do it again and silence all the doubters, and I'll just do it better.
awesome. My last two questions is just in regards that, no one's really jumped out and said, hey, I want to rematch you. You're the one that turns around, you get the belt, and then you give the opportunity of a rematch right after. You get past her, not looking past it. It's a tough fight, but ultimately, I know you've been asking for maybe like a Katie Taylor or Amanda Serrano. Is there certain other fights that if it doesn't happen, I know you mentioned Natasha Jonas, if she gets past,
Yeah. I think that Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano doesn't seem like a very likely option for me. I mean, I
mhm,
always envisioned fighting Katie Taylor, but you know, I move up to welterweight now. She's got her hands full with, and who knows how many fights she wants to continue to fight. Serrano's that she's smaller than me. She already said the only person she's willing to come to 144 is Katie Taylor. So that seems like it's out the window, but that's okay because there's plenty of girls for me. Welterweight is the great division. It's like the best division right now for women's boxing. So there's plenty of fights for me. But ideally, get through Sandy. We see who the winner of Jonas versus Price, and then we all come together to unify at the end of the year. I don't really see any problem with getting that fight done.
mhm.
There's no issue. She's gonna have the belts. I'm gonna have the last one that they need, and yeah, I'll get my shot at undisputed.
And then that's my last question. Ultimate goal still, you had a crack in a very close fight
Mhm.
that many people felt was controversial. Undisputed is still the end goal of all of this.
I mean, my idea. Come here. My my goals changed a little bit over time. To me, it became less about necessarily undisputed and more about making the fights the biggest fights possible that were going to motivate me and that everyone wanted to see and that we're going to do big numbers, right? And make me the money that I want. So that's really what's most important. Now, sometimes that naturally comes with going for undisputed, obviously. But it's not the only thing. Like right now, I could have sat and waited for Jonas and Price to unify and secured my spot undisputed, but that's not what I'm about. I'm going to give Sandy this rematch. I'm going to give the fight fans another awesome, entertaining fight, and then go on to fight the winner for undisputed at the end of the year. So I'm perfectly in line for that to happen now, which is great. I mean, everything's lining up for me. It's been a rough couple rough years mentally on me, but I'm back in position now, so I just got to perform and level up and do what I got to do.
Awesome. Appreciate the time. For the fans that's watching, what do you want to tell them that be tuning in this rematch, which you set the stage and said, hey, let's do it again. So
Yeah, you guys got to tune into this fight. It'll be live on ESPN. Again, great for women's boxing, but also right here in Las Vegas, the Fountain Blue. Um, don't miss it. I'm always going to put on great fights for you guys. And Sandy is she's going to come forward again. She's gonna give it her all. That's the type of style she has. So us together, it's going to be fireworks.